August 14th. That's when I posted my first video. I got 3 views, and 2 of those were from myself. Since then though, I've learned some weird things about YouTube that might save you months of guessing. For instance, the video where I forgot to ask for likes got the most likes. And the video that I thought was the better video tanked completely. If you're starting YouTube over 40 or just getting tiny numbers, here's what those early failures might actually be teaching you. I've been planning this channel for almost 2 years now, but that morning I woke up and I thought, you know what? You gotta either put up or shut up and just move on from this particular channel that I've been planning on making. So I set up the camera, I hit record, and posted it before I went to work. And guess what? Nothing happened. Now I'm 7 videos in now, and here's where I'm at. I still have small numbers. Most of them didn't even get enough impressions to teach me anything at all. But here's what saved me from quitting early. I'd already made a challenge for myself where I was gonna make videos every week for 90 days. Within that challenge, I committed to posting 10 videos before worrying about any single one of those performing. So if you're just starting, having that kind of a plan might be more important than your content strategy. When video 2 got 6 views, I didn't spiral out of control because I knew I had 8 more chances to figure things out. Then video 6 finally gave me something I could actually work with. Looked pretty promising. It had 26% retention rate, which means people stuck around for over 2 minutes on that video on the average. So now I'm thinking, okay, maybe I'm finally getting the hang of this. I've made short form fitness content on another channel that people watch. Long form YouTube, totally different game. So when video 6 worked, I thought I'd maybe cracked some kind of a code. If you're getting inconsistent results across your first few videos, that feeling might kind of sound familiar, right? That one video gives you a lot of hope. But the thing about YouTube is the next video might also crush that hope. And that's when I made video number 7. It's a longer video by like 7 minutes or so. And I think it's more thoughtful content and it covered more ground. When I listened back to it and watched it before starting editing, I actually cringed a little. Not at how I looked, not even my voice. It was at how I spoke, the rambling, filler words, drifting off topic, right? Now, English is my 3rd language, although it's my primary language. I'm still a little self-conscious about that. I'm also a martial arts instructor. I teach karate. So I'm used to teaching with structure, and while I'm used to teaching on camera, I typically have like this, sensei persona that I teach with. So being this relaxed, friendly guy on camera, that was a lot harder than I thought when I started these videos. So I cut out most of the crazy stuff in the edit, left in a few stumbles and, ramblings too, and even some of the filler words to keep it more natural because I wanted it to be longer cuts, okay? And I managed to kind of watch through it without cringing. And in my head, this was a better video than the last one. So I hit publish, started getting impressions, more than the last video. But the retention rate, it was terrible. People bounced in 38 seconds. It was brutal. And, it's the same guy. It was even the same week, completely different results. And this is where I could have gotten super discouraged and just quit. Instead, I got curious. What was different about this video? So if you're getting wild swings like that in your early videos, don't read too much into it and don't get depressed. At least the inconsistency gives you some data points to compare, right? But here's where it got weird. That same failed video had the highest like rate of any of the videos that I've made so far. Almost 1 in 3 people who stuck around actually hit like. And it's the one video where I forgot to ask for likes. Like, it's the one video where I didn't ask for people to, hey, like and subscribe my video if you like my content, right? So the video where I didn't ask for engagement got the most engagement. I know it sounds weird, right? Now this could be a complete fluke, obviously. One video isn't a pattern. But if you're seeing weird contradictions in your small numbers too, maybe stay curious about those instead of like fully dismissing them. They might not prove anything yet, but they could suggest something worth testing in future videos. Anyway, here's what the limited data suggests from all these videos. Video 6, length worked. Video 7, asked for too much time too soon, I think. As a new creator with hardly any following, and thank you to those that are subscribed to my channel, you probably have about 30 seconds max to prove that you're worth watching. If your retention rate drops off a cliff early, like mine did, you might be asking for too much trust up front. But here's what's important to remember. I don't even actually know if this is about my content length or if YouTube is still figuring out who my audience is. Obviously my channel's new and I only started getting real impressions a few videos ago. So the algorithm might be showing my videos to the wrong audience while it's still learning. So if you're new and getting confusing results, don't assume you're doing everything wrong. YouTube might just be trying to figure you out. Bad results early could just be about it learning, right? Not about your content quality at all. And that made me realize my biggest blind spot wasn't the content. It was my packaging. Video 7 is getting terrible click-through rates, even though the people watching it actually like it. And here's what clicked for me. Bad CTR isn't about content at all. People can't judge content they never clicked on or watched, right? It just means that the titles and thumbnails aren't doing their job. There's some kind of disconnect there. So if your content gets good feedback but terrible views, make sure to look at your packaging, not your ideas or your content itself. These are completely different skill set, which is really frustrating for me because I know Photoshop. I'm a photographer and I can make nice looking thumbnails, but looking good and getting clicked are two different things. It's like knowing how to cook, but not knowing how to write a menu that makes people hungry. And the thing is, I know this already. I've watched hundreds of videos by gurus telling me that I need to focus on titles, thumbnails, and of course the first 30 seconds of the video. And here's the truth, knowing thumbnails and titles matter and actually making them work aren't the same thing. And even with AI helping me generate ideas, applying it effectively has been a lot harder than I expected. So anyway, that's where I'm at. 7 videos in, and this video is number 8. My CTR is still terrible, but YouTube is finally giving me some impressions that I can work with. I think that means the platform sees potential relevance between my message and the audience, right? So that like the message to market match. It's just not compelling enough to earn the click yet. If you're just starting and getting discouraged by low views, look for different signals in your limited data that you're getting. Are the few people who watch actually engaging with your content, like leaving comments, right? Are they liking your video? High engagement on low views might tell you more about your direction than total view count. And that plan I talked about matters more than individual results. I'm still 3 videos away from my original goal of 10 before making any major changes to the way I create content. Having that buffer keeps you focused on learning rather than reacting to every single data point, right? Even though if they're tiny, we have a kind of tendency to, hit the brakes and then veer off in a different direction. So I'm going to keep testing my thumbnails, keep refining how I present ideas in those first 30 seconds, the hook in the beginning, and see what the next batch of data is going to tell me. Obviously, There's still a lot more to figure out for me, but having a clear problem to solve and a systematic approach to testing solutions, that actually feels like winning to me. And if you're in the trenches with tiny numbers too, maybe that systematic approach is more valuable than any individual results. Thanks for watching.